Hi, everybody. Welcome to Belongcast. I'm Diana.
I'm Semih.
And today, I think in light of upcoming municipal elections that's going to happen in March, I was wondering, I kind of deep dived into a little bit about Almere. Because this is the city that we live in, the city that we love, and we develop it. So it's very interesting. I deep dived into the information, and I think it would be interesting for us to have a discussion and share with people what Almere is about.
That sounds like a great idea, Diana. We have been living here, right, 8 years, and there are too many things we still don't know about.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes it happens to you probably as well. When you think in a city, you tend to postpone, to learn the different areas of the city because you're living in it. You say, okay, well, this area, I can visit it always later and and later, which never comes. So, and you normalize many things around you. You even stop questioning. Mm-hmm. So those kind of discussions and, reading through the facts also can help us to understand many things that we missed in our daily life.
Yeah, that's for sure. I mean, it's the same like with Keukenhof, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you can ask any most Dutch people haven't gone to Keukenhof until they're in retired years.
That's true, indeed. When I was telling, because usually when I go there, it's usually when I have friends or the guests from coming abroad. And when I tell my Dutch friends or colleagues about it, they are like, exactly as you said, Keukenhof. I never been there actually. How is it? But to be honest, it's very crowded.
Yes, it is, but it's beautiful.
It is beautiful, though.
Yeah,
indeed.
And for us, we have the privilege because we live in Flevoland, and all the flower fields, all the tulip fields, is actually most of them grown here in Flevoland. So it's gorgeous. In a few months, we're going to just go roam those fields and we don't need Keukenhof.
No, indeed. We have a free Keukenhof version here in the Netherlands, in Flevoland. Sorry.
Yeah. So let's start about some kind of fundamentals about Almere. Maybe some people don't know. So this city exists on reclaimed land. I think many people do know that. So it lies between about 2 to 5 meters below the sea level, and which is immediately tells you that water management is actually very crucial here. The land was reclaimed after the construction of the Afsluitdijk. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right. It was in 1932, the 1900s, which created the IJsselmeer and made the draining of Flevoland possible. So in 1971, the national government decided to build a city in the IJsselmeer polders, and because of the northern Randstad was facing space constraints, a lot of people were really bad. There was not enough where to live. So the first neighborhood actually that was built, it was Almere Haven. This is the oldest neighborhood in Almere. And the first homes were built there in 1976. And by 1980, the city welcomed its 10,000th resident. And construction of the central district actually began. In 1994, 4 architects were commissioned to design the new city center, the city center that nowadays we walk through every single day and buy everything that we need. But actually, at the end, the work of Rem Koolhaas, his plan was completed by 2005. So Almere is not an accidental city. It is planned response actually to the demographic and spatial pressure that existed at the time.
This is quite interesting when you are mentioning about the Afsluitdijk and the polders. So is it a good idea also what Afsluitdijk is to mention to the listener?
Yeah, I think so.
Can we say it like a barrier? Dijk is it's a Dutch word, and if you translate to the English, it's like a barrier that holds the water to not coming to the land, right?
Yeah.
And Afsluitdijk is the longest barrier, water barrier here in Netherlands. So it's keeping a lot of water to flow in, to be honest, to Flevoland and also the Netherlands as well. I remember, I don't know, have you been in, there is a museum in Lelystad, Batavia Museum.
Yes, I have been there.
It's amazing because when I had been there, there was things that has been found during this the operations
Drainage.
during the drainage indeed of the water, because what they do usually, and that's how I learned when I visited the museum as well, they built the barrier, and then they cut the connection between the water. They create a small lake basically, and then there is no new salty water from the sea coming in, and then they start pumping all the water from this small lake outside to the sea until whether there is no more water left inside this area, right? That's how the reclaims lands has been happening.
It's insane when you think about it. I mean, like literally we live on this piece that used to be water.
Yes, indeed. It's like bottom of the sea, where you just walk around or cycle. It was a sea bottom basically.
Yeah.
When you think about it, it's really amazing, because when they did this, they have found a lot of shipwrecks and the old fossils of the I don't know how old fishes and all sea creatures. They collected many of them in this museum. So if anyone is interested, I really recommend to visit the Batavia Museum in the Lelystad.
And you can also shop on the way.
Yeah, yeah, true. There is also
send the keys to the museum with a spouse, with a husband, and you go shop, ladies.
That's a good idea. Indeed. And that's how they built the polders. Polders are also, on the reclaimed land when the grass grows in, and then that's basically called what's polder is. So there are lots of polders here in Almere as well as Netherlands. So it makes a bit unique in that case. I just wanted to add a couple of things that came to my mind when you were mentioning the Afselaatdijk. It's a beautiful area. Yeah. I agree.
After we finish recording this, I'll tell you a funny story that I cannot tell. It will be some people can find it offensive, but it was very funny at the time.
Okay, I'm interested. So let's also talk about how Almere was developed, right? Because Almere itself was like a project, if you think about it. When people were planning to develop Flevoland together with Almere, it was part of a pre-planned project. So it was developed as a composition, of course, if you say, of varying sizes within a vast urban landscape. And if our sources are correct, this concept was inspired by the Garden City model of Ebenezer Howard. I think that's the correct way to say it. Who is a British journalist and a writer who, if I remember correctly, was created this idea against all these industrial locations where people are just living in the gray areas with tall buildings without any greenery. So he came up with this idea about just blending the green inside
of England
cities in England. Yeah. So that was an inspiration for the people who built Almere, apparently. Again, the idea was to combine the benefits of the countryside with the opportunities of the city, of course. And if you see in Almere, the districts are also separated between each other. So we have like Almere Haven, Almere Stad, and Almere Buiten. And Almere Port, which is also a newer version. Yeah. Yes, there's Almere Hout also on the south part. Yes, south part of Almere. Yeah. But Hout and the Port are relatively newer. Comparing. Because if I remember, Almere Haven was the first.
Yeah, the Haven was the first ever.
Then Almere Stad and the Buiten. And the names are also quite interesting, right?
Yeah.
The Port is basically means
by the water
gate, so it's the first entrance to Almere. And the Haven is just, in English, it means port where the ships are coming. Almere Stad is the center. Buiten means outside.
Yeah, outside of the center.
Yeah, indeed. So it wasn't very creative with the namings, but it makes a lot of sense to be honest.
At least it's not, acronyms.
Yeah, true. So I think that's the practicality of the Dutch people mindset, right? It's outside of the city, then why don't we call it Almere Buiten? Makes a lot of sense. And and these all districts were developed with distinct characteristics. surrounded by water and the green space. And if you think about it, there's a lot of greenery here in Almere comparing
Yes,
to
we
other
are very
cities.
green and very blue.
I'm really happy it is. If I had once I read about it, I think it's it's one of the lowest dense cities in Netherlands, the Almere, because there are too many areas.
Yeah, we're very spread about.
Indeed. So by the time it was very few people, but now with the current population, that may not be the case, of course.
It's growing.
Yeah, it's growing. But if you talk about the districts, the Haven was the first one. It was developed as a modern interpretation of the Zuiderzee town here in Netherlands, with residential neighborhoods and strong community structure. So the community comes together, and the houses are, there is always an area where community can come together, and the houses are, around it. So it just forces also people to get together in one area.
Yeah, indeed. In each neighborhood has its own little center.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
So I think that was by design, and to force and to help people to create a community life. And the city, the Almere stad was envisioned as the urban heart, like straight lines, broad avenues, high rises, and the contemporary center. On the other hand, Buiten followed the coarser polder grid structure, so it's more flat lined and then more like not through the center, but it's just split by the neighborhoods. And the whole landscape was laid out before the large-scale construction, of course. Over time, the 6 cores took shape within an already defined green and blue framework.
And now, following that, what you said, it's indeed we are very not that dense. That there are less people on the size of the city, but actually, Almere, it covers nearly 25,000 hectares.
Wow!
And 52% of it actually consists of water. So we're very watery. So half of the land is water.
52%.
52% is water.
Wow!
So it's amazing. We don't really think about it, right?
Yeah. That also makes how crucial it is to know how to swim here in
Almere. I cannot swim, but So actually, this water includes the Vierwater. That I think a lot of people know that. There's Lepelaars-Plassen. I hope I pronounced it right. Noorderplassen, part of the Gooisemeer, and sections of the Markermeer. It's actually all Almere.
Yeah.
Which is like amazing. The city has 42 kilometers of coastline and multiple beaches and marinas. And in some districts, home even have private moorings, which is like amazing. You can really have this feeling of fanciness. Look at me going to the water. And because we have so much water, actually water recreation sports became embedded into Almere's identity. And the Vierwater in particular, was considered essential to urban health by the planners such as Toon Koolhaas, who believed blue infrastructure was as necessary as green, which is really interesting to see how the thought of how people, when you take a city, especially that was designed in the 1900s, it's like we're looking at it, how really it's all been planned out and thought about. It's really admiring to see those kind of people that have such a vision to put all in paper and to bring it to life. After the reclamation in 1968, 4,000 hectares were planted with reeds, rapeseeds, native trees, and shrubs before construction accelerated. So planting preceded building, ensuring shelter and landscaping from the beginning. And large green structures such as Kroomslotspark, Beginboos, and Vroege Vogelbos connect to the Vierwater and extend through the city. In Oosterwold, this is one of the newest neighborhoods in Goud, residents integrate green landscaping under the principle of connect city and nature. You can really see the whole neighborhood. You cannot drive through it. You leave it. It's like this kind of like tryout neighborhood of, in the past you would call it a hippie living.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
That's indeed. That's Almere was indeed inspired by the 60s, 70s, where people were against the war and against the commercializing and industrial
Flower power.
damage to the nature. So that reflects a lot in every part of Almere. And in the Oosterwold, as you said, there are also municipality Almere had also this project where you can just buy the land by yourself.
Yeah, and
you
you
can
build.
even define, right?
Yeah,
the
yeah.
shape of because I have seen some lots are in rounded shape.
Yeah, you can build your own
rectangle.
house, whatever you want, and it's
Yes.
the most eclectic neighborhood there is, because usually neighborhoods have some kind of theme. You
Yes.
can see the buildings looking the same. There's some kind of architecture there. Every single house looks completely different. I think I heard a while back that actually Utrecht is building a neighborhood to mimic the Ostworld.
Oh, really?
Really, that you're not allowed to go in with the car. So
Yeah.
there's going to be, while the idea is really nice. I mean, here in Almere, we do have a lot of space and it's possibility. So if you do own a car, you can park it outside of the neighborhood. But Utrecht is so compact, so the whole neighborhood building, I think each household will be allocated one parking space or something before, which is what if you have 2 cars or 3 cars nowadays. I mean, I have neighbors, they have 3 cars, 4 cars sometimes, and then would you stack them up?
Sure.
So we are very privileged here to have so much space.
Yeah, I think so too. Oosterwold is. I didn't know. For instance, it was a great example for Utrecht. So we are. Yeah, it has been a great success. Well, some people, of course, struggling a lot because it's not easy to buy a land and then build everything by yourself.
Yeah,
It
you
can
need
be
to
a
have
daunting
money.
task. Some people really struggle to do it, and if I only know from the stories from the people who do it. I didn't read all the legislation there, but if I'm not mistaken, you have to use some part of your land for the farming purposes, for the greenery purposes. You have to take care of your own sanity and all
sanitary utilities kind of.
Yes,
Yeah.
indeed. So some, if there is
DIY.
dirty water coming from your house, you have to facilitate it somehow and use some filters.
So it's really like hippie neighborhood.
Indeed. So you have to take care of yourself. And gemeente doesn't even make the roads by the time. Maybe it's different now, but
Well, now I
the
think
idea
there are
was
some.
you have to give up some part of your land together with your neighbors, how much you want.
It's like a
and then-
commune.
Yes, it's indeed like a commune system. So you have a part of land, but if you want a road that is publicly available, then you have to give up some part of your land.
Yeah.
And so does the neighbor and so on. Then gemeente can come in and then build a
Yeah.
road there.
Well, it's. I mean, some people love it.
Yeah, some people love it.
Yeah.
So
I
it's-
would never be. No, it's not my kind of groove.
No, indeed. I mean, dealing with so many different people and have to agree on the same thing. Even with 2, 3 people, it's difficult. But if you imagine you live in a neighborhood and then you come together and you want to agree on, giving up part of your land and to make,
Yeah.
that's quite a discussion. It can be quite tiring.
Do you think the infrastructure back then, when the development of Almere was in the plans, there was also thought in that kind of way?
Maybe, I don't know. I never heard about it.
Okay.
And so when we were talking about Almere's infrastructure really reflects 1970s, 1960s thinking, because it was a time where people start thinking about sustainability and the fuel efficiency, because the petrol and the gasoline, all those kind of things were initially in the beginning of and at the end of 19th century and the beginning of 20th century was quite heavily used, but later on the world started learning about the after effects of using the petrol in our world. So many protests started happening against it. So I think that's where the idea in Almere came as well, because the city has over 500 kilometers of the paved bicycle paths, if you think about it, and of 4,400 kilometers of those bike paths exclusively for bicycles.
440.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sorry, 440. I said 4,400. That's too much.
That's a lot. That's even bigger.
Yeah, indeed. 440 kilometers, so almost all of them. exclusively for bicycles. So cyclists have, right of way where the paths cross roads. So auto drivers, car drivers they have to be really careful, and what we call here in Netherlands the high tanden. So there are small triangles on the road always that shows who has the priority on the intersection. So they have to be careful. It's usually in the favor of cyclists. And at the major roads,
always in a way.
yeah, I have seen some cases where cyclists have to wait if there is a big road or something, but many of them are for the right of cyclists.
Yeah, indeed. But I mean, like one of the really amazing things that Almere has, the bike roads, the car roads, the public transport roads, they don't intersect.
Mainly no.
Yeah, they're all separate.
Yes.
So it's very safe for children.
Indeed.
They can just bike, and compared to bigger cities, Amsterdam or something, that everything goes together. Here, maybe like 5% of the roads meet somewhere in a crossing, but everything else is completely separated.
Yeah, I agree. City still does, makes bridges or tunnels, even if it is a very crowded road, so bikes can carry on without disrupting the traffic. But as you said, most of the time it doesn't even cross. The bike lanes are really well designed. It goes around it together with bus lanes, also bus lanes. Buses, they have their own lanes as well. So if you are not a fan of driving a car here in Almere, that's not a problem. There is always another option.
Actually, Almere, this is my husband said many years ago. He said that actually in Almere, because he grew up here, that it's faster to get to any point in Almere on a bicycle than with a car.
That's mostly true, yeah.
So this is something, the whole city was built around thinking about, first of all, the bikes. Indeed, what you said, that because of the gasoline, and they tried it, so they really put a lot of thought that it is simpler. First of all, so you can think, okay, I'm just going to go with a bike.
Yeah, true. And the bike lanes are usually inside the city, right? Between the houses, so you go directly.
Yeah.
And the car roads or even bus lanes are, they're going around the city. That's to less disrupt the people because of the noise and all, and also to not have this carbon monoxide exhausts affect the city life as well. So indeed, as you said, if you go by car, it takes a lot of time, more time at least. So since we are talking about the buses, also, it was adopted, this dedicated bus lane system was adopted and inspired by Runcorn. It's a small place near Liverpool where the, rapid bus transport system was created in 1971. So it was
cool.
Yeah, it was apparently in England, in Liverpool was a case as well. So when people were building this city, it was an inspiration point for them.
It's interesting. I mean, like that Almere was inspired by England,
Yeah.
London, right? All the dust always, the smoke that always bear was and also now Liverpool. So it's cool.
Yeah. I am not sure. I'm just speculating, but maybe it was because, the industrial revolution started in this area. So they heavily invest on the industrial sites, and the people were just living next to it because it was more
Nobody
easy.
cared about people.
Yeah, nobody cared about people. So some people also in England probably noticed that, okay, that's not the correct way to do. You see some examples that we are talking about. So those examples, I think, people in Almere were lucky because they were building from scratch. So then you just pick the right examples around the world, and then you combine them and implement it here. And like bus lanes here, I'm really happy with the bus lanes here because indeed you don't. It's like a metro, but just above the road. So you don't spend any time extra. If you just hop in a bus, you just go without any problem. And as we talked about, this whole planning was during a period of oil crisis and discussions around reducing car dependency. So it made a lot of sense by the time, which still does, to be honest. Yeah. Also, there are train. There is no tram or metro here in Almere, but there are train. And there is 6 different train stations here in Almere. that just goes through the Almere, because Almere is like a, like a
Quite big.
rectangle shape, if you think about it. So starting from port until the
It's
Almere
shaped a little
Buiten.
bit like the hand. If you look at the card of
Yeah,
Almere,
yeah.
it has like these little two thingies, but it's just like a palm.
True. It's indeed. It's a small island, big island, connecting the actual land with the bridges and the roads. So the train stations are quite, also well maintained with the different intervals, so that you have enough train station if you want to go in different neighborhoods.
Yeah. Yeah. So, right. Yeah. So I was just daydreaming about thinking. I haven't taken a bus in a while now, not train.
No?
Yeah. I was just thinking like when. So that's.
I recently started using the bus again. I'm really happy with it. I'm going to Amsterdam.
Yeah.
Twice a week for my work, and then.
Are you going on a bus?
Yes, I indeed.
Wow.
I decided to use the bus, and from Danswijk there is a bus.
Yeah, there's a bus that takes you to Amstel station.
It goes directly to Bijlmer Arena, and it's like 40 minutes without any disruption. So when I am sitting on the in a bus, I just read my book or listen some podcast.
Oh, that's nice.
And just watching to the people who are sitting in the traffic while trying to enter Amsterdam. Yes.
Lucky you.
Yeah.
So, because Almere lies below the sea level, as we already talked about it a lot, water management is super, super important here. And so we have the Hogevaart and the Lagevaart. And their function is crucial in drainage of elements combined with an intricate system of lakes, waterways and ditches. We have quite a lot of that. And crossing all these waterways require bridges. And Almere, I don't know if you know that, actually has 737 of them.
Wow.
It's actually comparison to Venice that has only 400 bridges.
You should work on our marketing more.
Yes, we're selling bridges. There are hundreds of foot and bicycle bridges. Many actually were built over the last 35 years, and includes a lot of architect design structures with it. Some of them on René van Zoek. He designed several special bridges in the city. The bicycle and the pedestrian bridge across the Olsgracht. I think is the one in the center, the big one with the thingies.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, that one. So
or
it's actually
Dierwater.
No.
Or Gooimeer.
No, it's in the city. It's a bicycle and pedestrian thing. The one in the city, next to the Media Market, that one. So I hope so. It's actually 42 meters long and 9 meters wide. And the Limburgse Brug from 2021, it actually features a curtained steel parapet. And many bridges are functional and architectural statements. I mean, our city as whole, it's very modern and architectural. Yeah. And I mean, like the architecture of Almere, some might say there's no architecture, but we do have a very unique architecture, and I think we can do an episode about kind of discussing various buildings. There are special buildings that have special history.
True.
And it would be nice for people, if you haven't been to Almere, come and visit us.
And you were talking about architecture. Indeed, if people are looking for ancient Dutch town type of architecture, of course they cannot find it here, because city is just 50 years old. That's not the case, but as you said, Diana, there are different or various architectural places, even the bridges, the community buildings or private houses. So it makes that's what makes unique Almere as well.
Yeah.
Lots of opportunities. I mean, we didn't talk about the nature of Almere, because if you think about it, we have Oostvaardersplassen here in Almere, and that's one of the most significant man-made nature reserves in the world, and also part of Nieuwland National Park. That reminded me something, because when I was first visiting it with my wife, indeed it's man-made. I mean, by 50 years ago or 70 years ago, that was just sea, and now it's a huge national park. And my wife was like, yeah, it's nice, but I don't feel like I am walking in the wilderness. Everything, even the roads are planned for you. Okay, you have to follow this route. So it's very well organized, even the forest, which is, I understand, which is true, I guess, if you are looking for just hiking on a way that you don't know where you're going. It may be a bit different, but on the other hand, I really like it. The moment you enter it, you forget where you are immediately. And it's not far from the city center either. It's just by car, you can easily go there easily, under half an hour.
I mean, each park, we both live in Verzetswijk. Is one of the neighborhood that is close to Parkwijk. And here in Verzetswijk, there's this beautiful Verzets Park.
Yeah.
And also, it's man-made.
True.
But you just, of course, this is not the dense forests of, Eastern Europe and or Germany or whatever. But actually, it feels like a lot of forest. And look at it, it doesn't look like it was man-made. I mean, it's wild and it's different, and trees. And it's very interesting to see how it also was planned out, and they do maintain it, because every year, especially around the bicycle path, sometimes they remove the trees and they replant the new ones. So there's a lot of thought goes into that.
There's a lot of maintenance going on indeed. That's, if you think about it, that's quite costly. That's one of the costs probably that municipality or the general government paying. Mm-hmm. But what I have seen also many times, that when they sometimes cut the tree, they just leave it there.
Yeah.
Because it creates another environment for the wildlife there, because insects can live there, or if they're like fox and other the animals who is living in this area or the turtles can just create a house underneath this tree. So that's what I like also here in the forests. When they cut, they just leave everything there, and it creates another, original wildlife.
A new ecosystem.
A new ecosystem, yeah. Thank you. And so back to Oostvaarderplassen.
Mm-hmm.
And so there are also, bike paths and the cycling routes and the walking routes included. So let me give you a couple of facts and the numbers about the cycling routes. Mm-hmm. So in Oostvaardersplassen, there are 32 kilometers of a loop, which you can go by bike, and you can just enjoy it. It's amazing. I have done it. In Almere Haven route, there is a 19-kilometer route that's also go through the Almere Haven. And if you want to just, there is a specific route which is around 56 kilometers. That's called architecture route. So you start from one location to another, and you see different architecture buildings.
Maybe we should do that sometimes.
Yeah.
Maybe, we anybody in the community, a cameraman or something that wants to follow us, and we can just do that kind of route together and have a little maybe series.
Yeah, that sounds like a good idea in it. And apart from that, there is also a beach tour where you can go through the beaches of Almere, which is around 34 kilometers as well.
That's shitload.
Yeah. And these are the cycling routes. There is also walking routes differently. If you want to walk around, have different views of architecture, there's a 7-kilometer of architecture walk. If you want to go in the countryside or the woods, there's an 11-kilometer of route. There is also in Almere Haven, there is also a 7-kilometer tour that you can just go through the Almere Haven. So there are lots of different routes in Almere for specific reasons and purposes. But there is INWB, which is a very popular company here in Netherlands, does many different things, from car insurance to selling, the hiking equipment.
Yes, like one stop shop for living.
Indeed. So there, I cannot put it in any concept, but there are too many things happening. They also have these applications where you can download to your mobile phone, and there is routes, and then you can just follow them, INWB routes, and there are many for Almere in this area. I think municipality had a website as well, but I will check this later on and add it to the links of the episode.
Okay. So if we go back a little bit also about, so like we discussed, we have a lot of space. Not as many people, although Almere is the seventh biggest city now of the Netherlands.
Seventh,
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And the population is, as of January 26, is 232,650 people.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's quite a lot. And maybe if somebody from the transportation department's listening, we have 232,650 people. So maybe it's about time to make a train come to us in the middle of the night in Amsterdam and not finish it up at 12:30.
Yes.
This is very frustrating. So like I said, 232,650 as of 1st of January, and over 50% of it are actually residents that have a migration background.
Oh, wow.
So more than half of population of Almere, they are not native Dutch people.
No. Wow.
No, so of course it can be, there are international work migrants that came here. There are various, people that were born in different countries. So it's not necessary. It's not 50% of expats as we are defined.
Yeah.
But, yeah. And 53% of the population in Almere are under the age of 40.
Yeah, quite young population.
And only 22% were born in Almere. Yeah, so only the younger generation now is being born in Almere. Our generation, they came. My husband, he came here in 1983.
Yeah.
So a big chunk of people that came in from Amsterdam when Amsterdam was overcrowded. So
many people don't have their childhood memories here in Almere.
No. Well, Peter does have, because he was 1 year old when he came.
Okay.
So he does remember running through, like now there's neighborhoods, and said, well, when I was a kid, I used to run away. I used to run here. There was like cornfields here and that and this. So because he came to Haven, he was one of the first ones, right? Like 83. And the city has 440 kilometers of separate cycle pathways, like we said, on the surface of 249 square kilometers and 42 kilometers of coastline. So It is quite huge.
Yeah.
There's a lot of possibility, and it's amazing. As unlike maybe Amsterdam, that every small piece they're trying, to build it up, because everybody wants to live in Amsterdam. So the value of the money here is higher, because the housing that you can procure for yourself here would be, I don't think you can buy the same size of house in Amsterdam for the same price.
No, not at all.
Yeah. And all of this is just developed over just a few decades. That makes actually Almere one of the youngest large cities of the Netherlands.
Wow.
Yeah, we are babies. We are celebrating this year 50.
We are 50 years for a city is indeed young if you think about it. But in over 5 decades, what has been achieved here in Almere is amazing. It's extraordinary, and it's well maintained and well established. If I think about it. And I think you mentioned in the beginning of the podcast, right? It was an idea to have the blue-green framework. Mm-hmm. So that's one of the things. If you come to Almere, well, in many other Dutch cities, you may also see, but Almere especially is known for this. There isn't much tall buildings here in Almere.
No.
There are some.
Yeah,
but
the Tower
very
19
few.
in
Very
the center.
few,
Yeah.
Right? So in the center there is like
you can count on one hand.
Yeah, definitely. You see them in some areas like Noorderplassen or something. There are also a couple of tall buildings. Mm-hmm. Well, not if we are
tall,
talking about
it's not tall like New York tall
or something. No, yeah, indeed.
Yeah, it's like indeed.
So, and they are, even if that's the case, they are well separated from each other. They are not like next to each other. There is at least 15, 20 meters, space between those.
It's not like Middle East, that you can yell your neighbor from the balcony for a piece of salt.
Or you can just give something, on a plate to your neighbor. That's why when the weather is not cloudy, because it is most of the time.
Yeah.
But when it's not cloudy, you really enjoy the sky. Here. You see I don't know how to define it, but you get the best out of the sky. You have the feeling of it. And then you have the greenery during the springtime and the summertime as well. And I really enjoy when I sit in my garden, look at the sky, it's blue, and
The contrast.
the contrast is amazing.
Yeah.
So, and also in the autumn, the fall time, all the blades are getting yellowish, reddish, orangish. That also gives a nice vibe to the city. So overall, I really enjoy to live here in Almere.
Yeah, me too. It grew on me.
It did to me as well. In the beginning, I felt like always, okay, it's very new, it's very well designed, and so on. But later on, I think I created a bond with the city by myself. So, well, I'm happy that I'm living here.
And I mean, what also makes the city, besides indeed the green, the environment and the water and the forests or parks, also the people.
Yeah.
I mean, we have here an amazing international community, and the true sense of feeling that you belong, that this is yours when you do have that community. You have people that you go out with and have, and you can just hang out and just feel that you're part of something. So, yeah.
Yeah, that makes you feel like part of the city as well, right?
Yeah.
Because then you are not a visitor of the city, but you are the how to say, living there. How to say it in English? Bewoner of the city.
Resident.
Thank you. Resident of
nice
the city.
that you know the Dutch word, but not the English.
Wow.
You are integrated.
Yes, I am very well integrated. That was the celebration of my Dutch nationality. So yeah, it's really important to feel like a resident of the city, and that happens only with the people around you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, that's cool. Well, I hope you learned a little bit about our fair city. And maybe that will want to intrigue you to come visit and check it out, and maybe even move here, because there's a lot of wonderful things happening here. It's not just a sleeping city. We're rocking here as well.
Yes, there are lots of places to visit. So
Yeah.
please come in and visit and say hello to us.
Yeah, that's perfect. So, tot ziens.
Tot ziens.